Yeah, let's talk about sports, baby. From the stands of a sports fan, my man Pots and Pans, what's the deal? You kicking with KCMC. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Couple sports topics we gonna run through. First one coming from the MLB. You see my dog right here? Let's put some respect on his name today, man. Coming from MLB.com, going a perfect 6 for 6 with 4 home runs. Nick Kurtz became the first A's player in franchise history with a 4-homer game. The first rookie in MLB history with a 4-homer game and the 20th player overall to have a 4-home run game. With 19 total bases, he also tied Shawn Green in 2002 for the most bases in a game all time. This comes from Elias Sports Bureau, by the way. It marked the second time in MLB history that a player has gone 6 for 6 with 4 home runs in a single game. The only other players was Shawn Green, who did so for the Dodgers on May 23rd, 2002. Dog! It was the second time an A's player has recorded 5+ hits and 3+ homers in a game. Before Kurtz, you had to go back to the Philadelphia area when Jimmy Fox did it in 1932. Nick Kurtz scored 6 runs in the game, just the 9th time that has happened since at least the year 1900. Put some respect on this white boy's name. Going crazy. Let me say white man's name. Going crazy. Only like 22 years old, bro. 4 home runs in 1 game. I don't even know how to necessarily put that in perspective to any other sport. I think his 4th home run was a 3-run home run. So you got 2 on base and you score with your home run. I imagine after 2 home runs, the first 2, they change pitchers. 3rd home run, what are you going to do? 4th home run, it's over. If I'm not mistaken, the A's ended up beating, who was it? Was it the Astros? Like 15-3 or something crazy, fam. Listen, this is history. 4 home runs by 1 player in a single game. This is not to be slept on. And it's a rookie, by the way. This is his first year in the MLB. We got to give respect to my dog right here, man. Got to give respect to my dog. Once again, Nick Kurtz. Kurtz. Put some respect on his name. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show, 313-466-4386. We do got the phone lines open. Another very, very important topic, trending topic, by the way, we got to get into. This is switching to the... Why is that? Okay, my bad. This is switching leagues, by the way. We got to talk about the NFL and the Oakland Raiders right now. The Oakland Raiders currently released Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle. Now, this is a huge subject because he was supposedly getting some guaranteed money. This is coming from yahoosports.com. The Las Vegas Raiders released defensive tackle Christian Wilkins on Thursday, calling the decision in the, quote, best interest of the organization, end quote, in a statement. The 2019 first-round draft pick was entering the second year of a 4-year, $110 million contract with $35.2 million in, quote, guaranteed, end quote, money left that the Raiders voided shortly after. And this is coming from the NFL Players Association, who filed a grievance shortly after on behalf of Christian Wilkins. Christian Wilkins suffered a Jones fracture in his left foot earlier in the 2024 season. He had surgery. But the dispute arose this summer on whether the defensive tackle should have another surgery or continue rehabilitation. The Raiders placed Wilkins on the physically unable to perform list last week at the start of training camp before waiving him on Thursday. The NFL CBA includes a notice of contract termination in its appendix. Clubs can check one of 5 boxes that range from unsatisfactory performance to personal conduct that adversely affects the club, aka the team. According to ESPN, Christian Wilkins' termination was a result of the first choice in the notice. Quote, "You have failed to establish or maintain your excellent physical condition to the satisfaction of the club physician." End quote. The CBA has detailed language regarding its injury protection benefit. It states that a player must undergo, quote, "reasonable and customary rehabilitation treatment the club required of him," end quote. Sources say the league's management council encouraged owners in 2022 to reduce contract guarantees after the Browns signed Deshaun Watson. But that owners didn't collude in violation of the collective bargaining agreement, aka the CBA. An arbitrator will now determine whether Wilkins is entitled to his $35 million. His grievance falls under, quote, non-injury, end quote, category, which covers fines, suspension, and prior year injuries that invoke the collectively bargained injury protection benefit. The NFLPA's website says it is successful in, quote, considerably more than half, end quote, of the overall grievances filed, which also includes injury cases. Now, I just read all that coming from Yahoo Sports, but this is what it's saying. My dog was out for an injury, took a physical, and they were saying he's supposed to have surgery or rehab, and I believe they got video of this man dancing to the Backstreet Boys, which led to their decision to release him. You lucky I ain't got video of you dancing, fam. You dancing the Backstreet Boys? I don't know whether that's true or not. I saw that from another source, another podcast who actually played. I believe this is the Joe Budden podcast, who actually played the audio and or video of him dancing. What I want to say is this. Big dog, if you're supposed to be injured, why are you dancing and doing goofy stuff? As a defensive tackle, you a big man. Why you dancing the Backstreet Boys anyway? You got $35 million on the line, guaranteed. Now, this is the whole problem with the NFL. They're saying, if this money is supposed to be guaranteed, why are you voiding it or taking it away? That's the whole thing with the NFL as opposed to the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, or all the other, the MLS, all the other major professional sports. When they have guaranteed money, it's guaranteed that the players are getting that. When it comes to the NFL, this quote-unquote guaranteed money can be voided depending on the contract. Now, I'm going to say this. I get when you say guaranteed, hey, this is guaranteed if you do this. But how can you say guaranteed if it's not, if there's stipulations to it? If there's stipulations to it, it's not guaranteed, fam. That's just like when women or anybody says, I'm loyal by a fault. If you're loyal under conditions, if there's a certain conditions that you wouldn't be loyal to, that means you're not loyal, fam. Loyal means unconditional. So that means in context with this situation, don't say it's guaranteed money if he can't get it guaranteed regardless. Guaranteed is unconditional. Matter of fact, let's look it up right now. What does guaranteed mean? Let's go ahead and look that up according to ChatGPT, the AI software.
Hey, how's it going?
Yes, Bruce, let's go. ChatGPT. What is the definition of guaranteed? What is the definition of guaranteed? Give me a second. What is the definition of guaranteed?
The term guaranteed refers to something that is promised or assured with certainty. When something is guaranteed, it means that a specific outcome or result is promised and will be fulfilled, often backed by a formal assurance or guarantee. This term is commonly used in contexts like warranties, contracts, and promises to ensure reliability and trust.
Didn't say with any type of stipulations or anything like that. So if you're going to say guaranteed, I'm expecting it to come regardless, bro. This is money I'm expecting. $35 million is a lot to lose. So I also want to say you goofy for dancing the Backstreet Boys, and the Raiders, y'all goofy for guaranteeing money that you're not about to give my dog. I don't care what the contract says. It shouldn't have been guaranteed. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Another topics that we're going to go through. We got a couple more. Stick with me now. Stick with me now. Since we keeping it in the NFL, let's talk about the NFL's heaviest player. The NFL's heaviest player. Desmond Watson. This is coming from Associate Press, APnews.com. Desmond Watson's quest to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will get a late start. Look at my dog. All right. Buccaneers coach Todd Bowles said the heaviest player in NFL history is day-to-day after starting camp on non-football injury list due to his weight. Quote, it's just about trying to get him better, to be a healthier player and getting him on the field a little more. That's kind of where I'm at right now. He's working at it and we're working with him, and that's all you can ask right now. End quote. Todd Bowles said on Wednesday. Watson, who played at Florida, was signed after going undrafted in April. He weighed 464 pounds at the school's pro day and lost 25 to 30 pounds before the draft. He's still 400 plus pounds, ladies and gentlemen. Buccaneers head coach Todd Bowles said, quote, I don't have a timeline on what we can get him down to or when that comes. He's from Armwood. He went to Florida, so he's used to the heat. He's not a big factor in it. That's not a big factor in it, excuse me. We've just got to see what happens, end quote. The 6'6" defensive tackle has been working with a team nutritionist, and the team hasn't said what would be an ideal playing weight for him either. I think, with all that being said, the Buccaneers want to keep him as big as possible, but they want him to be active. They're probably saying, you're really not as active and physically as capable as we want you to be. So we're either going to have you lose a little bit more weight, or you're going to have to be a little bit more smarter with your nutrition and what you eat, so that you can still be active and still be as big as you are. They drafted him for the reason of him being the heaviest player in NFL. The biggest, the largest. Been stepping on since my mama stayed in them apartments. Regardless. Shout out to Big X the Plug. But just like Big X the Plug, he big as hell. And we got to keep in mind, my dog, you're going to have to do something if you really want to be part of the NFL and this organization. They're trying with you. You lucky they didn't release you. Because players are getting released for less. So Desmond Watson, please get your ish together. Heaviest player in NFL right now plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A black head coach, Todd Bowles, is trying to keep this man. But he's saying we're going to have to work with him and see what's going on. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. We're going to keep it Super Bowl related real quick if you don't mind. Speaking of Super Bowl 59, I believe that's what that sign is behind me right now. 59, that's 59. According to Associated Press, APnews.com, the NFL is fining about 100 players and 24 club employees for violating league policy by selling Super Bowl 59 tickets for above face value. A person with knowledge of details told the Associated Press on Friday. The person, speaking to the AP on condition of anonymity, he want to be anonymous, because of the ongoing investigation, said the players who resold their tickets will have to pay a fine of 1.5 times the face value they paid for the tickets. They also won't be permitted to buy tickets for the next 2 Super Bowls unless their team makes the Super Bowl. Club employees who violated the policy will be fined 2 times the face value. In a memo sent to teams and obtained by the Associated Press, NFL head of compliance Sabrina Perrell said the league was still completing its investigation. Quote, our initial investigation has determined that a number of NFL players and coaches employed by several NFL clubs sold Super Bowl tickets for more than the ticket's face value in violation of the policy. This long-standing league policy, which is specifically incorporated into the collective bargaining agreement, prohibits league or club employees, including players, from selling NFL game tickets acquired from their employer for more than the ticket's face value or for an amount greater than the employee originally paid for the ticket, whichever is less. We are in process of completing our investigation into this matter, but the investigation has revealed that the club employees and players sold their ticket to a small number of, quote, bundlers who were working with a ticket reseller to sell the Super Bowl tickets above face value, unquote. Couple players, couple coaches caught for selling the Super Bowl tickets that they were granted for way above face value. And by face value is pretty much whatever the NFL valued those tickets at that they gave them. Could have been a couple $100,000. Could have been a couple hundred. Could have been a couple thousand. Either way it go, them players and coaches said, hey, I ain't about to use them. You want to buy Super Bowl tickets? I got them for you for such and such amount. It could have been a discount attached to those tickets because they were players and coaches for that face value. Nonetheless, we don't know, but they got caught up. So now they're getting charged for it. I think the players and coaches should be lucky they're not walking away with criminal charges. These are only charges from the NFL, and they're only going to charge you money. You better be lucky you're not getting released from the squad and you're not being cut or fired. That's what you should be happy about. Now, I respect you getting your hustle on, but y'all got caught. You got caught, fam. And the thing about it is, nowadays, when you buy tickets to these sporting events, it's all electronic, bro. It's all electronic. It has to be transferred to your phone, your email. They keep track of everything, bro. It ain't physical tickets no more, barely. So with that being said, you just don't know. Especially if you purchase them online. You got to go to the box office, fam. Get the physical tickets if they still have them. But anyway, y'all mistake was getting caught up. I'm pretty sure this goes on, and it has been going on for years, decades. A century plus, I'm pretty sure. But y'all got caught. So now you got to deal with it. So y'all, like I said, because you got caught, be happy that you ain't doing jail time. Be happy that it's just a fine. And I imagine all, if not most of y'all, should be able to pay this fine. Based on your salary if you work in the NFL. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat. Go off in the comments. Or call into the show. Do you think them paying this fine 1.5 times the value of the tickets for face value is a bad penalty, or should it be worse? Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show 313-466-4386. Another topic that we are going to talk about. I don't know how true this is, but we are going to explore this. This is going to the NBA right now. Coming from yahoosports.com. Don't blame me, blame yahoosports.com. The Post. San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama rips celebrating Karl Malone with vicious repost appeared first on Clutch Sports. On Friday, the NBA history account on X, formerly known as Twitter, recognized Hall of Fame Karl Malone's birthday. But Victor Wembanyama wasn't letting the moment pass without comment. The San Antonio Spurs star shared a fan's reaction meme that showed a man calling the police, directly addressing Malone's highly controversial past. The repost was a blunt reminder that, while Malone is statistically one of the greatest forwards ever, his off-court history casts a long shadow over his accomplishments. Now, the controversy traces back to 1984, when Karl Malone, then his second NBA season, was revealed to have impregnated Gloria Bell, a 13-year-old girl. The incident amounted to statutory rape. I shouldn't have said that. Statutory grape, but Bell's family did not press criminal charges. Instead, they pursued a paternity suit that led to an out-of-court settlement. Gloria later gave birth to Demetrius Bell, who will go on to play in the NFL. Karl Malone initially denied paternity before eventually acknowledging the child. This disturbing chapter has fueled decades of criticism, making him one of the most polarizing figures in NBA basketball history. Victor Wembanyama's repost was a clear signal that he, like many fans, sees celebrating Karl Malone without acknowledging the past as tone deaf. Now, I don't necessarily know the accuracy of this. Yahoo Sports, Clutch Sports are pretty much the only credible sources reporting this. I didn't check X, which I should and I will. But with that being said, Victor Wembanyama not necessarily agreeing with Karl Malone being celebrated, I'm not mad at that. Because, to be honest, let me look this up right now. Wemby. Is this his actual? Yeah. Wow. This is really on this. Yeah. Victor Wembanyama's X account, Twitter account, a repost about somebody celebrating Karl Malone's 62nd birthday. Two-time NBA MVP. Police lock it. Yeah. Wemby reposted. Now, if this is Victor Wembanyama's actual... Yes, this is his actual account. Oh my God. This is true. This is true. This actually happened by Victor Wembanyama. He wasn't having that with Karl Malone. Now, I read all of that just in case people, you watching, was not aware of Karl Malone's past. His second season in the NBA, he got charged for statutory blank with a 13-year-old girl. Took a paternity test. Yes, you the daddy. And your son played in the NFL. Demetrius Bell. This is weird, bro. The fact that you, I believe, are now claiming him, or you at least took the paternity test and it proved that you are the father. So that means you actually did it, bro. Me, like Victor Wembanyama, and probably other fans, I don't like this. Now, this is like, people always bring up the fact, should we separate the art from the artist? This is one of those examples. The art is Karl Malone's statistic history. What he's done for the NBA and the culture of basketball in general. Not just the NBA, but the culture of basketball. The artist is a man who did statutory rape to a 13-year-old woman. Girl, excuse me. bro, we don't like this. We don't support this. Victor Wembanyama, I'm not mad at you, but are you mad at Victor Wembanyama for reposting what he posted talking about Karl Malone? Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat, in the comments, or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Wild topic right there. But we're going to keep it moving because we got more wild topics that we about to transition into. Excuse me. Oh, man. Here we go. All right. Excuse me as we get through these topics again. Let me get through Karl Malone. There we go. Okay, good. Here we go. Interesting. Donald Trump, your president. Coming from DetroitNews.com. President Donald Trump is threatening to hold up a new stadium deal for Washington's NFL team if it does not restore its old name of the Redskins, which was considered offensive to Native Americans, by the way. The Commanders and the District of Columbia government announced a deal earlier this year to build a new home for the football team at the site of the old RFK Stadium, the place the franchise called home for more than 3 decades. Trump's ability to hold up the deal remains to be seen. President Joe Biden signed a deal in January that transferred the land from the federal government to the District of Columbia. Quote, I may put a restriction on them that if they don't change the name back to the original Washington Redskins and get rid of the ridiculous moniker Washington Commanders, I won't make a deal for them to build a stadium in Washington. End quote. Trump said on social media site. The provision was part of a short-term spending bill pressed by Congress in December of 2024. While D.C. residents elect a mayor, a city council, and commissioners to run the day-to-day operations, Congress still maintains control of Washington, D.C.'s city budget. The Washington team started in Boston as the Redskins in 1933 before moving to the nation's capital 4 years later in 1937. Trump posted Sunday afternoon that, quote, the owner of the Cleveland baseball team, Matt Dolan, who is very political, has lost 3 elections in a row because of that ridiculous name change. What he doesn't understand is that if he changed the name back to the Cleveland Indians, he might actually win an election. Indians are being treated very unfairly. Make Indians great again. End quote. This is coming from your president, Donald Trump. Washington and Cleveland share another thing in common. David Blitzer, a member of Josh Harris's ownership group with the Washington Commanders, and he owns a minority stake in the Cleveland Guardians as well. That's David Blitzer. David Blitzer is basically minority owner of both teams, the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Indians and the Redskins as well. Mr. President Trump, this is what we all want to say to you. Get your goofy ass up out of here, fam. I believe you posted a tweet not too long ago, and I meant to post the image of the tweet where you said a president shouldn't get involved in stuff like this. Why are you getting involved in it? You sound crazy, fam. I don't even like to get involved in politics or saying anything or what a president shouldn't do. But bro, this should be the last on your list of priorities in regards to their name. I get it. Washington Commanders, they're right in your backyard, right where you work. The White House. I get it. So it's not too much to actually understand. Plus, you're dealing with owners of sports franchises. So they're billionaires, if not hundreds of millionaires. So you probably rub elbows with them. I get it. But this is literally none of your business. You don't own a team, Mr. Trump, President Trump, I should say. So keep your mouth shut. Us as fans, let this just roll regardless. I believe the owners already said, especially the owner of the Washington Commanders said, we're not changing the name back. There's no way that's happening. And I believe it's the same with the Guardians. They both released statements saying, ain't no way, fam. We keeping it the way it is. We spent all this money, all this publicity doing this. It's not changing. So, President Trump, bruh, go sign an executive bill somewhere else. And I will talk about an executive bill that you signed. I think I forgot to put it on here in regards to college sports, but we'll talk about that later. But right now, you sound goofy. But let me ask you, should the Cleveland Guardians and the Washington Commanders change their name back to the Redskins and the Indians? Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. Yeah, I didn't bring up what I should have brought up. So we just going to keep it moving. Shortly wrap up the show. Getting into boxing. Real quick, let's talk about it. In regards to boxing, Manny Pacquiao, who's 46 years old, fought Mario Barrios, who's 30 years old. Manny Pacquiao appeared to have made history on Saturday in his much maligned comeback, this last week Saturday, comeback bout against WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. But then the judges took it away. Despite winning on the majority of scorecards from both his fellow fighters and boxing analysts online, Pacquiao's return from a 4-year retirement ended in a controversial majority draw, helping Barrios to leave Las Vegas MGM Grand Garden Arena with his WBC title intact. 2 judges scored the contest 114 to 114 draw, while 1 judge had it 115 to 113 for Barrios. Had the 46-year-old Pacquiao won, he would have made history as the second oldest fighter in boxing history to capture a major world title. Pacquiao was a significant underdog on BetMGM coming into the bout against a man 16 years his junior. The contentious result ignited instant outrage across the boxing world, with many of Pacquiao's peers decrying the judges' assessments and feeling as if the Hall of Famer was robbed of a historic moment. This is what I want to say. If a 46-year-old who's been retired and ran in politics in his own home country comes back to boxing to fight a 30-year-old, and you think it's a tie, it should have automatically went to my dog Manny Pacquiao. The fact that you think he good enough to even tie with somebody 16 years younger than him, it should have went to Pacquiao, fam. It should have went to Pacquiao. Y'all gonna do it a tie? This 30-year-old, you should not be tying with a 46-year-old, bro. Either you should be dogging him, or you lost. Or you lost. So I think the judges did get it wrong. They robbed Manny Pacquiao, fam. I didn't watch the whole fight, but I watched the highlights. I think Manny Pacquiao put up a good fight. A draw, I can see it, but I don't know, man. I don't know. But if that's what the judges saw, it was a pretty fair fight. If that's what the professional judges saw, then I gotta run with it. And with that being said, if y'all saw a draw with a 46-year-old and a 30-year-old, bro, just give it to the 46-year-old, bro. He earned that. Because we don't want to see a part 2 with them two. I don't think I do. But let me know what you think. Do you want to see a part 2? Who do you think really won Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios fight? Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show. 313-466-4386. Another topic in the boxing world we got to get to. Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. The 23-0 Alexander Usyk versus 22-2 Daniel Dubois. Alexander Usyk disagreed with the idea that he's become one of boxing's all-time greats, but it's evidence after mounting his 5th round knockout to Daniel Dubois at Wembley Stadium on Saturday. This is last Saturday, by the way. The victory, sealed with a crunching left hook to Daniel Dubois' jaw, made Usyk the undisputed world heavyweight champion for a second time. The undefeated southpaw retained his WBA, WBC, and WBO belts and regained the IBF belt he relinquished just a year ago. The bad news for opponents, especially the British ones that he kept beating, is that the 38-year-old Ukrainian has no plans to stop anytime soon. He said he's still, quote, a young guy, end quote. and named Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora, Anthony Joshua, and Joseph Parker as possible next foes. Jake Paul threw his hat in the ring too, but you can get up out of here. This is coming from Alexander Usyk. He said, quote, "I will continue boxing and I will continue training, but now I cannot say who my next opponent will be," end quote. He said that at the press conference. He also continued saying, quote, "I prepared 3.5 months. I've not seen my family, my wife. Every day I live with my team. 14 guys in one house. Now I want to go back home," end quote. Usyk dropped Du Bois twice in the 5th round, the second time with a lunging left hook midway through the round after Du Bois missed with a right hand. The London native looked stunned on the canvas and couldn't beat the count before 90,000 spectators at Wembley Stadium. Wow. A job well done. I didn't get to see the fight live. Couldn't pay for that. But well done. I did see the highlights. Alexander Usyk dropped my dog. Daniel Du Bois got him up out of there. Made him take a knee the first time. Second time, he was done. 5th round knockout. Wasn't like face on the canvas. I wanted to see face on the canvas type knockout. But it was one of the ones where he just couldn't do it, fam. He just gave up. I understand that. So we got to give it up. As far as heavyweights, Alexander Usyk, bro. One of them ones. Undefeated 23-0. Think it's 24-0 after this fight, if I'm not mistaken. But give it to that boy. Give it to it. Give him his respect. Alexander Usyk, heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Don't forget that name. Who should he fight next? Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker, Derek Chisora. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show. 313-466-4386. Couple more fights we got to talk about. The Michigan native hometown girl Claressa Shields fighting tonight against Lani Daniels at the Little Caesars Arena right here in Detroit. Claressa Shields undefeated. Lani Davis, I don't know her record. I didn't really do my research on this, but I just wanted to point this out, man. I'm always going to root for Claressa Shields. I'm always going to be a fan of Claressa Shields. Love her. Hope that she just knocks this girl out, get her up out the way. Hope it don't go the distance. Just get her up out the way. She's doing too much smiling. Trying to be too lovey-dovey. I get it respectfully for the sport, but as a fan, I don't want to see all that lovey-dovey stuff. I want to see y'all hate each other. I want to see hate, disdain, pain. I want to see y'all talk about each other's mamas. That's the type of disrespect I want to see. But, you know, we'll see. Claressa Shields smiled a little bit with her. But I know Claressa Shields is really about that fight. She about that fight game. But let me know what you think. Who you got in this fight? Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show. 313-466-4386. Couple more topics we got to literally run through real quick. Canelo versus Crawford. This fight coming up September 13th on Netflix. You can see it right here, Netflix. Shout out to Netflix, by the way. Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford clash in a mega fight for boxing's unified super middleweight crown. Live from Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada. Canelo Alvarez, who is 62-2-2 with 39 knockouts. And then Terrence Crawford, who's 41-0 with 31 knockouts. Head and head right now. Well, not right now, but September. Already said I got Bud. I got Terrence Crawford. Let me know who you got in this fight. Canelo Alvarez or Terrence Crawford. I got my money on Crawford, even though I'm not really putting no money on the fight. Let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments. Call into the show. 313-466-4386. Very last topic I want to talk about. This is related to sports. Happy Gilmore 2. I watched this on Netflix yesterday. Happy Gilmore coming back, not fighting, but playing his untraditional golf, untraditional ways. But he's actually trying to save traditional golf against a new league called Maxi. That's like the new make some noise golf, fast-paced golf, that type of thing. Here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. A lot of cameos. Eminem, Cameron, Stat Baby from It Is What It Is. Travis Kelce. Bad Bunny. Stephen A. Smith. A lot of other, like John Daly. A lot of golf legends. Jack Nicklaus. They all came here and they all did their thing. It was a great thing. It had great moments. I don't like the moments where they really reiterated the old movie. Played old clips. Like, keep it original as much as you possibly can. Like, I like the scene where they kind of acknowledge some of the actors that passed away in the 30 years since the last movie. But at the same time, it's like, come on, fam. Keep it all original. That's what made the first movie a classic. Now, I'm not going to lie. I laughed at some moments of Happy Gilmore 2. They had some moments that were legit funny. But other than that, it was like, I don't know, man. Like, it was 2 hours long. 1 hour, 57 minutes total runtime. I think they could have saved us with about 30 minutes. Get 30 minutes worth of the BS out, the BS scenes, the old movie stuff. And then it could have been a really decent, really good, I'll say, even a really good sequel to a classic. But let me know what you think. Go off in the live chat in the comments or call into the show. 313-466-4386. We wrapping up the show. Do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe button, share button. Let me know what you think about Happy Gilmore 2 or any other topic that we talked about. You can always leave a comment as well. We will reply back. But also, just share some love. Like button, share button, subscribe button. Appreciate you for kicking with KCMC from the stands of a sports fan. We got the Cash App below. Call in to the show anytime you want to. We about to be up out of here. Thank you. We'll do a show a little bit later.